Hi there, this is Architect David. Welcome to Arkida, where you can learn anything and everything about construction. For this video, we will be talking about how to install stone, marble tiles, and ceramic tiles into your wall system. Incorporating stone into your finishes is easy, just the same way as installing other materials. It just takes a type of technique to install this. Now, before we proceed to the how-to installation, let's just go back to a few backgrounds. Meaning to say, your backer board again should be 3/4 inch thick plywood or 12 millimeter fiber cement board. Never ever use gypsum board as your backer board for this type of finishes. So as you can see, there are minimal thicknesses, which is 3 or 5 millimeters, 5 or 6 millimeters, 10 millimeters, and 12 millimeters. Now, for the 3 to 5 millimeters, as you can see on the picture on the right, there is a fraction equivalent, meaning to say, for those who are not yet into metric and still into English, a 3 millimeter ceramic tile is equivalent to 1/8 of an inch, while the 5 and the 6 millimeters is equivalent to 13/64, the 5 millimeters, and the 6 millimeters is something like 15/64. For the 10 millimeter and 12 millimeter thickness of the tile, you should be using 3/4 inch thick plywood, not the fiber cement board anymore. Now, for tiles which is 10 millimeter and above, this is how a detail should look like. Do not mind the framing at the back, which is wood that can also be applied to steel. So as you can see, you have your wood sheeting, which is the 3/4 inch thick plywood. After that, there is a metal lath and a mortar scratch coat. This is a mixture of cement, which includes a metal lath in between. Then you have your type S mortar setting bed. This is what is going to adhere your tiles to the scratch coat. To give you an idea how a metal lath looks like, it looks like this. It is a diamond pattern or a wire mesh, which is placed above the first coat of scratch coat. Then you place a top coat of scratch coat above it. Now this is another construction detail. Although this is for exterior, this can also be used for interior. But again, you may ask me the question, why is there a mortar setting bed installed to a mortar scratch coat? Sir, can we not install the mortar setting bed straight to the backer board? Again, if you are using a 10 millimeter thickness of tiles, it is going to be quite heavy. Therefore, the adhesion of your mortar setting bed will not be enough to adhere to the plywood. That is why you have to place a mortar scratch coat to make the adhesion of these tiles more stable. Now, there may be some certain instances wherein you will encounter several contractors who will say, yes, we can just do that. We do not need the mortar scratch coat. We just place the mortar setting bed straight to the backer board. Well, again, that is a gamble for you, homeowners or clients who would like to do it that way. For sure, after 5 years, some of your tiles will start falling off. Now this is just another example. Your frame is a cast-in-place concrete. Then you may ask me, Sir, it is already concrete, why don't we go straight to the mortar setting? Okay, because the cast-in-place concrete finish is smooth. That is why we have to install again a mortar scratch coat. That's the reason why it's called a scratch coat, because it is uneven in nature for the mortar setting bed to adhere to it properly. Now this picture on the left shows a concrete finish coat. Although it tells us to install a scratch coat, but if you were to use a fiber cement board as your backer board, you can now install a plain cement finish wall. On the right hand portion is a parapet. So as you can see, it takes several layers of waterproofing and overlaps before you can put in your scratch coat. This is to provide waterproofing on the upper portion of your parapet. For those who do not know what a parapet is, that is the walling on your balcony. Now, if you look at these pictures or drawings, you will notice that it says cement board or fiber cement board or GFRC board. GFRC stands for glass fiber reinforced concrete. In short, fiber cement board. Now, how do you install your tiles on a GFRC or fiber reinforced board? You use a bonding mortar. In most cases, or if you check the internet, you will see it is written as bonding mortar, but locally it is known as tile adhesive. Now, these are several pictures of how to install your tiles in the wall using fiber cement board as your backer board and placing your tile adhesive. If you will notice the lines of your tile adhesive, this is to make it coarse so that the tile will be able to adhere to the tile adhesive. For this instance, you have two types of materials. The bottom picture shows a stone while the upper portion shows the wood. Take notice that if this is the case, you will have to install a aluminum molding to the termination point of the stone. Then you have to place your mortar scratch coat, your metal lath, your WRB. The WRB stands for weather resistant barrier. Actually, it is just cement with waterproofing capabilities. Also, when you place your stones, you should wait for about 24 hours before you start grouting the spaces of the stone. Okay, going on the upward portion of the picture, you will see that it is wood. Now the usual question will arise. Sir, what type of backer board should I be using for this type? I would advise that you start using 3/4 inch thick plywood only. Why? Because if you use fiber cement board and you nail your wood to the fiber cement board, there may come an instance that it will crack. So it is quite safer to use a 3/4 inch thick plywood. Now you may want to come out with this type of finish. This is called a loose stone finish. When I when I mean by loose stone, it means it is different forms. Although the type of installation here would take a bit longer because the worker has to start fitting it in properly. Okay? So if you look at the construction drawings here, you can see that it has, again, a sheeting. It has a WRB, which stands for weather resistant barrier. You have your lath, mortar scratch coat, then the mortar setting bed, and the actual stones. So that is just how it is being installed. So for loose stones, you can have what is called a crazy cut, meaning to say it's all different sizes. Again, the worker or whoever is the mason will have to start figuring out how to install this properly to give very small spaces or open spaces. Or you may want to have a look like this, which is called the veneer type of loose stone finish. Now, in the event you would like to come up with specialized types of tiles, because there are certain suppliers who will provide this type of installation wherein it is going to use aluminum. So as you can see, you have your framing there. Then you will place your aluminum supports on that framing itself. Sir, do I need a backer board? Yes, you may place a backer board, but you can also not place a backer board. Again, that will also be dependent on the grout itself. Meaning to say, are you going to place grout in between the tiles? If yes, then you need a backer board for it. So there are several variations. The other variation is just to install the actual support to a concrete frame or a post cast in place concrete frame. So, after learning how to install your stone wall, you may now apply them on your living room, bedrooms, toilets, and kitchens. I hope you enjoyed this video and watch out for the next video wherein we will be talking about wall finishes, complex steel. Click the subscribe button to discover all the other videos in this site. Click the notification bell to be notified about new videos that we post. If you have additional comments, please post them down below or at our Arkida Facebook page, and I will answer all your queries. Thank you.